have I got the whatnot FOMO bug again? Am I buying too many books on eBay and whatnot? Let's take a look at what I picked up, and if I should have. Up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hey there, panelologists. Welcome to another video from Bronzeville Comics. Before we get started, like, comment, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Follow us on Instagram, Bronzeville_comics, whatnot, Bronzeville_comics. Link in the description. If you've not yet signed on with whatnot, you can use it, $10 off your first purchase. Also in the description, link to my eBay store and my email. So I'm just going to kind of do a mail call here. And I've been sometimes out of boredom. Right, I'll just kind of flip through the phone, and instead of doom scrolling, I'll go through whatnot. And I think the problem with whatnot, the FOMO that gets you, is you see a book that's a good buy. And I do factor in the shipping. It's usually like $4 to $5 for the first book. And then it's a less amount, 50 cents to $1.50, usually, depending on how the seller has it set up for each additional comic after that. Well, sometimes I don't have the time to stay with, and I don't find anything else that I liked, so I often get, stuff that I really didn't need. So this first package, this is from Very Gary. I don't remember what I bought, quite honestly. I think maybe it was a book I needed for a PC, maybe something that appealed to me. A lot of times I'm not really finding stuff for resale. And questionably, if I'm finding stuff that is worth getting slabbed. Because unless you get a deal on an older book, sorry about that. Unless you get a deal on an older book, it's hard to find a modern book, copper age forward, for a good deal that you think is a 9.8 candidate. So let's just take a look at this. He has these little bubble envelopes that are pretty good. So let's see what the book is, and it is yeah, Justice Society. So this has two things. I didn't have this variant. This was one Aaron from AA Comics does. I think it's Thursday nights, and I've been looking for the variants from the JSA run. So this is a PC book. Might get it slabbed. I think it's, on quick glance, looks like definitely a 9.8 candidate. So that is a cool book. It is a, who did the cover? Zerdy. Right? I'm Justice Society of America. I'm the guy that got this more for the fact that it's JSA than it is a Good Girl Power Girl comic. What's up next? Pike Mark, thank you. This is Michael Park. I don't think it's the same Michael Park who appeared in Stranger Things and Gotham, and was a two-time Emmy winner. Well, actually, I got some pretty good deals on this. I'm trying to see what I spent on these. I have a reusable Gemini, two of them. That will come in handy. So I did spend decent money on this, and this is stuff. These are both newsstands. I'll see if they clean. This might be clean and pressable. I really have to take a close look at these books. I thought they were decent deals. So this is Spectacular Spider-Man 90. This is one of those first black suit books. It suffers in comparison to the Marvel Tales and the ASM, or the Marvel Team Up, I should say, and the ASM, because he's not in the black suit on the cover. And then Star Wars 81 newsstand. Again, there's some dirt up there. I'm not sure if maybe that's on the bag. So I'll see if these are clean and press candidates. that I did buy. I thought they were good deals, and sometimes with less experienced sellers you can get that. So this is from Resale Daddy. This guy was on Whatnot. So I got a nice stack of books. And sometimes I get interested in Whatnot sellers who are not necessarily comic book people, because they're not trying to upsell the books that they have. So this is a guy that does more than just comic books. So I think he basically cleans out houses and then takes the comics from there. So double bagged. Not a box. Double bubble mailer. Books seem to be okay. I have no recollection whatsoever of what is in here. And I don't really want to use a knife to open the book up, to open the package up, because, again, there's not much around the books. I might just use it right here. Still, that's not going to help a lot. There we go. I just need to extricate these books from this bag. They are bagged and boarded with cardboard around them, so there is some protection. Again, you can tell the difference between a comic seller, like Barry Gary, who, you know, and Aaron from AA Comics, who do this all the time. And, you know, there's a kind of almost an industry standard to the way to package your books, which is Gemini, right? And a different way to package slabs. So this was a Whatnot impulse buy. I was just watching somebody's show, and they had a ton of books. I don't know if I got runs. I don't think I bought each of these individually. So, okay. I think I'm almost there. Yeah. Kind of handmade stuff. What did I buy? Oh, I bought a Green Lantern lot. I got a Green Hornet book. Maybe I got some free books. I don't remember buying all of these. I don't remember buying these at all. Oh, this was, you know what it was? The entire lot. So it was an entire, now I remember. I got this entire lot. This is first appearance of somebody. Right? One of the Green Lantern Corps Quarterly. And then it was mostly Green Lantern, but there was some other stuff. There's a random Green Hornet book. And then some Charlton war books. What do I fight? Army, fighting Navy. No fighting 540. Fighting Army. Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think these are keys. That might be. That might be a semi-key. But Green Lantern 50. And this is what I bought it for. Green Lantern 48. First appearance of Kyle Rayner. And I didn't even realize that. Because he kind of flipped through it quickly. It's a newsstand. It does have a corner crease. So, yeah. It kind of took the chance on this. Probably not worth it. Probably should have a lesson learned in all of that. I'm making a mess behind me. Don't mind me. So, yeah. Yeah, I was kind of getting it for that 48 newsstand, but hey, c'est la vie. I didn't spend much money on that lot. This, another Whatnot sale, and I'm just going to fast forward through the opening rather than hear me yammer on about nothing in particular. So this is a book from Key Collectibles. And when he was on the stream, again, it's hard to determine condition on Whatnot. You see, they put the, you know, unless they look at the book real close. But this is a book I've been speculating on quite a bit. I have a bunch of copies. I got this for $10 plus shipping. So I think that was very much worth it. It's from Key Collectibles 1313. I accidentally stopped my recording. I picked up Shade the Changing Man #1. This is a book that I've been picking up at every opportunity. I'm really looking for some high-grade copies. And because this is one, you know, there are a handful of characters I speculate on. This is one of them because he is a member of the Justice League Dark in the comics. And this #1 is done by Ditko. You really need this, even though it's a book from, what is this, from 1977. You really need it in a 9.6. I'm not sure. This is a nice looking copy. Not sure it's a 9.6, but we will take a closer look at that. It has a sticker price of 30. I got it for 10. So I figured even in raw form that was a good deal. Up next, this is another Whatnot purchase. Again, we're going to fast forward through the opening. Again, this was a seller. I didn't really know what they had. I think I paid $22 for the 2 books total. This, oh, I know why I bought this. This is a copy of Wonder Woman 231. This is a really sharp copy. Why did I buy it? Look at the background of JSA members. That's why I bought that. And then this is a little bit lower grade, but not terrible. And I got it for, what, 15 bucks? And I think that was a nice price for this book, and it's fantastic. $4.73. This kind of crossover with everybody in there. So that is that I thought it was just like one of those books you see come up in a Whatnot, and you're like, that's a good deal, and then you pick up another book because shipping is a lot cheaper after the first one. So that's a book, you know, it's probably closer to a $40 to $50 book in condition. To get it graded, it's really got to get to about somewhere between, probably in a 7.5 to an 8 makes sense. Even, I think, by taking the spine roll out of this, I don't think that's getting up that high. I just think there's too much wear to get this, yeah, much past like a 4.5. So, but still, even, I thought it was a good deal to get that. And then I got next, this is a package from Erod. I actually know what's in this because I just bought this recently. This was the most recent package to arrive. We'll fast forward through the opening. Erod does a really good job with his shows of advertising through Instagram and making it clear on the show exactly what books are available. So if there are particular books you're interested in, you know, you can kind of wait for the show. So these 2 books I was kind of interested in getting, just because I do have a couple copies of first appearance of this character, but kind of low-key working on these Silver Age Charlton runs. And it is 2 issues of Judo Master that are in pretty nice shape, 96 and 97. These, pretty sharp. Pretty sharp books. So, that's kind of cool. I kind of, when I see them, I have been picking up some of those Silver Age Charlton books. The superhero books. Interesting about Judo Master. Judo Master was in the first season of Peacemaker. If you watch the show, you know. But Judo Master was really the biggest, I guess, Charlton character that came over to DC that was didn't have a parallel character in Watchmen. So just a little bit of trivia there. This I bought from an estate auction, and I ended up paying a lot for shipping. I put a lot of bids on. I was bidding on some lots and a couple of books that I was interested in, and I thought that the books were in pretty nice condition. The problem is, you know, and I don't think there was a buyer's premium on this auction. This is St. Louis estate buyers. So, you know, they're like, pick up this time or we can schedule shipping. And truth be told, with these estate sale auctions, they're not doing you any favors when they ship. Basically, you're paying for shipping and the handling is not cheap. So, I think I got a small lot and then an individual book, which brings me within 1 issue of completing a run. And I'm real interested in the condition of that 1 book, because I don't need high grade, but I like to get, you know, probably working on at least fine, you know, well presenting books. and it's a Silver Age run that I've been working on since childhood, and I've gotten more serious. At least they ship them in Gemini. So, okay, what do we got? Oh, it was just two books. One book was lower grade, and they advertised it as such. But I thought it was a pretty cool book. And the other one is... Oh, that is nice. That's pretty nice. So, the first one, lower grade. It's Captain Marvel Jr. number 45, a classic Fawcett book. I don't know what's on his face there. I don't know if that's crayon or pen. Which is unfortunate, but it was fairly cheap. I picked that up. And then there were a bunch of Silver Age books I thought in nice condition. And this I'm pretty happy with. This brings me within one book. I just need one, and it's not a key. It's not even an early issue of finishing this run. So maybe when I go to shows, I'll just target that one book, and we'll try to finish this run off. Copy of Aquaman number 26. Okay, the only issue I still need is 28, and then I'll have the entire run. Not just the Silver Age run, because that book ran for, I think it was 56 issues in the Silver into the... I think it was all Silver Age. Maybe into the early Bronze. Then they rebooted it in the later 70s. It ran for about another 8 issues. And I already have all of those. And then I have every issue of every Aquaman series after that. So I'm one issue away from having every Aquaman title. You know, if you go by legacy numbering, I will have them all. This is a... I guess this is an eBay auction. So I'll fast forward through the opening because there's a lot of tape on this bad boy. This looks pretty sharp. Looks pretty sharp. I had purchased this. This was a book. Focus. This was a book that was on hot lists for a while. I guess maybe middle of last year, summer, early fall. And I bought it. It's maybe got a little bit at the top, but it is a... I'm going to have to take a closer look at this. I bought it with the hopes of grading it, that it would grade out, if it, possibly, you know, we could get a high grade for it. I mean, this is a book that, like, most recent sale of a 9.8 is $600, and that was just a couple of weeks ago. And it's Destroyer Duck, number 1. The first appearance of Gru the Wanderer. The only thing, in just looking at it here, maybe a little something at the top, because it drops precipitously in grade. I still got a good deal for it, so even if I keep it raw and wait for Gru property, talks of an animated show. Funny thing was, the 9.8 in November of 2021 reached heights of over $2,000. Whereas, you know, the 9.6 last sale was $240. The 9.4 you drop down. The most recent sale is $58. So you really need it very high grade. I'm going to take a closer look at this, and it'll either go into the press and clean and go out to grading pile, or I'll just put it in a spec box. Let me just take a quick look, and I'll come back in a second. Yeah, the most recent news on that is November 2021 is where the book in the 9.8 spiked to over $2,000. That an animated series was in development. I don't think there's been any movement. There's no news since November of 2021. Yeah, if you Google it, everything is November of 2021. So that might, again, it's a pretty cool book, all in all. Jack Kirby, Steve Gerber collaborated on Tab. Now, this last one is a slab. If it is what I think it is, what I had been doing recently, just because, why not? I had been looking at auctions that were expiring morning, early afternoon, kind of off-peak times. Because what happens sometimes is people will list without setting the time for it. They'll just list something to be auctioned for 7 days, and they don't set a particular time for it. So I was actually looking at CGC 9.8s, and it's interesting when you look at auctions that are ending soon. So many of them have no bids on it because the starting price is way above fair market value, which can be a little bit frustrating. But this is a book I thought was a really good buy. Even for what the fair market value is, even with shipping, I got it below fair market value, and I think it's a little bit of a spec book. I do have a couple of... I've been picking up copies of this. You can usually find raw copies in dollar bins, but this was a 9.8. CGC 9.8. So, here we go. Once I can extricate it from its packaging. Very careful with this. There we go. And here's a more recent slab. Because supposedly they're moving forward with this series, so I think there's still room to grow with it. And the seller had a lot of variant covers of this issue, etc. And it's The Good Asian, #1. So, in a CGC 9.8 white pages. I think all in, I got this for, I think it was $61. So I figure, and just put it in a box, see if something pops on it. If we see a trailer or something, it does. I think, like I said, I think it has room to grow. Even just what I paid for it, I don't see how I would lose money on this. And sometimes it's just nice to have a 9.8 already there. I do have to read this story yet. I do have it in my collection, so it looks pretty cool. So that is interesting. I'm trying to remember, and let me give me a second. So James Wan's production company is working on this this property. So a little bit of a quiet spec right now. There was, I think it was like one of those hot books when it first came out, because it came out in May of 2021. So it was one of these indie books that a lot of folks were jumping on. Right now the FMV is $55. It's about what I paid. I think this is me, $42 plus shipping. So that, the day before one sold for $74. And it's all been in that range. It did get over $100, so a high of $130. Again, we'll see. That's one of those low risk and, kind of spec books. And if you can find it in a 9.8, might be worth it. So Again, I was just trying to find some 9/8s. I'm more looking for, and in my own personal collection and books that I look for at shows, I'm looking more for 80s books than I think maybe some 90s books, but that can get 9/8s that have a shot. So like that Destroyer Duck, maybe not a 9/8. I'll take a real close look at it, see if a press can make it potentially a 9/8. And now that CGC has eliminated the need to submit 25 books in a pre-screen, 9.8 pre-screens maybe make a little more sense. Like, for instance, The Good Asian. On the census, there are 219 universal copies, 201 in a 9/8. There are only 18 books, or like about 9%, that are less than 9/8. So that's the kind of book that was submitted in pre-screens right off the rack. So, and it just goes to show you, books probably from the last 3 years, I would say, are generally easier to find in 9/8. This is an image number one, so a lot of people bought it relative to, let's say, some other independent publishers, figuring, roll the dice, maybe, something will come of it. So anyway, let me know what you think of that purchase. What do you think of the books that I got? And are you buying on Whatnot, and can you control the FOMO? Or do you just turn it on and say, ooh, I like that book? And what makes it difficult about Whatnot is it's so quick, you don't necessarily have time to look up the pricing on it. And if it just seems in your head like it's a decent price, it might not be. Anyway, that's it for this video. You can take a look at a couple of my other recent videos here. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.